Hey guys, welcome to AlltimeGaming. I'm Chris.
And I'm Jamie. It's been a long time since we've been able to watch a new console crash and burn horribly.
Oh yes, the Ouya, OnLive, and Dreamcast all pretty much failed horrendously. Unless things change, we've got a funny feeling that Google's new streaming-only service, Stadia, may suffer a similar fate.
When you were saying the name of those consoles, Chris, it didn't sound like you were saying words.
No, because they're not words, they are memories.
Ouya, OnLive! It sounded like a hyperactive cowboy. But if you don't want us to crash and burn horribly, be sure to subscribe to AlltimeGaming and hit that notification bell so you never miss any future videos. Now, let's talk about the 6 reasons Stadia is going to fail, at least for now.
Now Jamie, because of Stadia's improved server-side tech and the fact that it'll render games at 4K 60 FPS, at least if you pay for the Pro subscription tier, people have been claiming that Stadia is going to be our first glimpse of what next-gen gamings could look like.
Can I quote Arnold Schwarzenegger, Chris?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Wrong. Where are all the exclusives? All we know that we're getting on the console so far are a bunch of existing games being ported and upscaled to look, well, slightly nicer than their console counterparts. And if you've got a decent gaming PC, you've probably been getting the same experience for years. The lack of exclusives shows a real failure on the part of Google to understand the market and provide Stadia with, just a real concrete selling point. Experiences that aren't available on any other platform.
Exclusives have been selling consoles for years. How did Google not pick up on that?
I don't know.
But what if you could play Do? Oh wait, it's delayed.
Now Google has stated that they've got internal teams working on exclusive games, but they clearly didn't think it was important enough to have a single one ready by launch. Now we're not suggesting that they should have rushed exclusives in time for launch, but until a single exclusive is ready, there's nothing really that unique about the console at all, and that's console with bunny ears around them. But it begs the question, right? Like, obviously they were planning this for a very long time. Like, hey, Google Stadia, this is what it's about. Let's build the infrastructure, blah, blah, blah. Could they not have at the same time said, by the way, make a game for us?
But at the same time, we're in an era where games take years to make and cost tens of millions of dollars, and maybe Google were kind of like, let's wait. I think in the last few weeks, Jade Raymond and Google have been confirmed to have started a new studio that will make Stadia exclusives.
Yeah.
But that means we won't see anything for literal years.
Fantastic.
I don't know, it's strange. So if the console is so focused on streaming and upfront cost, why do we still have to buy all the games for it? And this is one of the things, Chris, that I don't think enough people understand about Stadia.
Yeah.
We won't even have any physical ownership over the titles. We'll be playing licenses to access these games that you can't even download and store in any even semi-physical state. It's all just a stream thing. It's like some people think Google Stadia is going to be the Netflix of gaming, but that's not true, because imagine Netflix if not only did you have to pay a subscription to have the service, but also when you went on it, those movies cost the same as DVDs and Blu-rays did.
Yeah, each episode of BoJack Horseman costs $1. Bullshit!
If you pay for the Stadia Pro membership at $10 a month, which, spoiler alert, you have to do if you want Google Stadia now, you'll get access to 1 or 2 free games every month.
Ah, okay.
And this is not a Game Pass-like service, Chris. This is basically games with Gold or PlayStation Plus.
Hey, I've got a tip for everyone out there. Epic Game Store, say what you want about it. That's free, and you get 2 free games each month.
Exactly. Also, do you know what free game that Google Stadia is launching with?
Yeah?
Destiny 2. Do you know what else Destiny 2 is?
Free?
Free! Unless the prices for Stadia games are significantly lower, it'll be an uphill struggle to reconvince ourselves to buy games like Assassin's Creed Odyssey or Borderlands 3 again just to have them on the service, especially because as an iPhone user who doesn't have a Google laptop thing or a Chromecast fucking suck-a-dick-a-thon, I have no way to even play this shit.
You're not missing out.
It is amongst the worst value propositions I've ever been presented with.
So you're just going to stick to Apple Arcade then?
I mean, Apple Arcade's value for money.
In a bonkers move that makes sense to absolutely nobody, even if you forked over the $130 asking price for the Stadia Founders Edition, you may not actually get the exclusive controller and Chromecast Ultra in time for launch.
So you're saying they're shipping a console that's not a console, but they might not ship it in time.
Exactly.
They might not ship the cloud in time.
Yeah, so hey, listen, this is the world we live in now, right? At this rate, you may not even get it for a couple of weeks, and this is because Google decided to slowly roll out the Stadia service in several waves. Yes, okay, if you are willing to wait, there will eventually be a free tier of Stadia available through an app that caps you at a 1080p resolution, and who knows when that's going to launch. Now look, if I'd paid out $130 for an exclusive controller and didn't even get it by launch, I'd be fucking livid. This approach would make sense if Stadia was a new service from, I don't know, like an indie tech company or something, but don't even try to convince me that Google, of all companies, can't release the service smoothly for everyone at launch, then fuck it, nobody can. And we should just all forget about cloud gaming.
Do you know who could?
Microsoft?
No.
Amazon.
Better than that. Us. It's the all-time Gadia.
Don't call it that.
What? Why? It's a PlayStation 3 controller that Josie doesn't want it anymore.
Pissed on.
Yeah.
This also doesn't bode well for future updates to the service. I mean, are they planning on continually segregating the audience by rolling out everything in waves? Will it be a complete lottery if you get your new content first? Google has really dropped the ball here, and they need to make sure that this doesn't happen going forwards.
That's not great, Chris, but there's another giant problem with Stadia. Most of the world's internet speeds may not be ready for it.
Okay.
Particularly in the US, where individual states have basically had their internet services monopolized by a single company that provides awful speeds. Many places around the world simply don't have fast enough internet to stream games at the intended 4K 60 FPS targets that Google have been marketing their service with. In fact, thinking about it, Chris, most people won't even hit the 1080p free tier.
Man, this is the thing that blows my mind about the States. You know, ooh, look at us, we're first world. You got shit internet, dudes.
Yeah. And you know what, Chris? This is just talking about speeds. This doesn't even account for caps, which are also widespread through the US.
Oh my god, yeah.
In the States and elsewhere alike, many places still don't even have fiber internet infrastructure in place, which is what's desperately needed for Stadia to succeed. Now, I'm no economist, but I think it's a safe assumption that the US is a huge gaming market.
Pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, if Stadia bombs there, it will bomb everywhere. Unless Google want to personally pay for or provide faster internet speeds for every single Stadia customer, they may just be out of luck on this front.
Well, Jamie, more worrying than slow internet speeds and Google's inability to even get the service out to everyone for launch is the company's long and sordid history of just completely scrapping projects that haven't worked out for them.
Not known for their patience, old Googly.
No. There's an entire website dedicated to the various services and products the tech giant has killed off early because they failed or they just simply weren't profitable. KilledByGoogle.com currently lists an eye-watering 190 projects, all flushed down the shitter for failing to perform. Remember Google Glass?
Yeah?
Yeah, no, dead.
Oh.
Remember Google Plus, like their take on Facebook?
Yeah.
Dead. So what happens if Stadia flops and Google decides to kill it off? Because look, if Google haven't done a decent enough job of convincing people to jump on board and can't even roll out the service to everyone for launch, will they stick with the service? Will they actually go through with it?
I'm trying to be optimistic, but historical evidence is not so positive.
Yeah, number one on the list, KilledByGoogle.com, Stadia. Future? Who knows? I mean, what happens 3 years down the line, Jamie, when you've poured hundreds of dollars into the service, but it's been an unprofitable venture?
They're going to pull the rug out from under your feet.
Yeah, exactly, because you won't technically own any of the games you've paid for. Just like any other digital storefront, you'll only own the license to play them, like you mentioned earlier.
Yeah, except it's not like Steam, where you might have the game available on your hard drive so you could possibly play it offline. These games you won't have in any way, shape, or form.
Because you won't have a hard drive. That's how they get you. So I guess you'll just lose everything then. I mean, can you really trust Google? There's just too much uncertainty here for us to easily recommend dropping money into this platform.
One of Stadia's actually positive sounding features is share state. But the more we think about it, the more we've realised we can't decide who is share state even designed for.
Yeah, it sounds cool in principle, but in practice, what the fuck?
Right. The Stadia exclusive system allows subscribers to watch their favourite YouTube streamer play a game and immediately pick up that game where they leave off by using a copy of their save data. But let's think about it in more detail for just a second. YouTube is not the biggest platform for streaming games. Google obviously owns YouTube, but the fact that this won't work with Twitch or even Mixer means that for many it's a dead or redundant feature. What's more, it's worth remembering the YouTube streamer you're watching also has to be playing the game over Stadia too. How likely is it that someone has internet good enough to both stream a game at 4K through Stadia and upload a stream of their gameplay at the same time, and that they're deciding to stream to YouTube over other platforms, and that you're watching that stream on YouTube while you're signed into an account that also has a Stadia subscription and you own that game?
Too many variables.
Yeah. Plus, more importantly, Chris, who even wanted this? Was anyone asking to pick up a game 4 hours into the experience without any knowledge of how the game actually controls for themselves?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
The more we think about the feature, the more pointless and aggravatingly stupid it sounds, which conveniently, Chris, is a nice way of summing up everything I feel about Stadia.